Hey, what's up, guys? So, Bitcoin is currently still testing this pennant formation. We closed above it again, and we've been testing this 34.2K area, which I've been noting on Twitter. We obviously broke above it right here, bounced, bounced, bounced. Then we made our move up, sold off, bounced off it again. So as long as 34.2K holds, um, I think we'll continue up. If it does end up breaking down, I think then the bearish case for it to drop down to say 32K could come into play. I think we would bounce down here and then move up, but until we actually start closing below 34.2K, I'm not going to expect it as the likeliest outcome. I believe currently, because we're in an uptrend, because we've been consolidating here, I do believe that the continuation or the likelier outcome is a continuation of this uptrend. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to move over to the stock market. The stock market had this massive, absolutely massive week. There's no way to I don't even know, there's no other way to describe it. It was huge. It was kind of in trouble, but it was sitting on this support right here, and it ended up getting the huge bounce, and it ended up closing above this resistance and then testing this resistance right here. So in my opinion, if we start to close above here in this 44.5 range, this area, if we start getting closes above here, I do believe that we're going to end up breaking out of this. And in my opinion, at least for the NASDAQ, it's like a bull flag. This is more of a expanding one. But if we break out of this, I do think we'll end up going up here and then probably going all the way up to all-time highs, believe it or not, maybe even by the end of the year. I'm not sure. We'll see. Timing a market is obviously very difficult. But that would be very bullish for crypto if the stock market obviously went up. They've been mostly correlated. I know in the last, I think month or so, Bitcoin kind of decoupled from it. But the long-term history has shown that it's trended the way or the direction that the stock market has. I'm going to go over to now the DXY, the US dollar. This had this huge break right here. It bounced off it a few times, but the weekly closed below it. So I think it could find support here. There should be at least some support here. But if it ends up closing below this 104.7 area next week, I think it's going to end up breaking down further, which is very bullish for risk assets or equities in general, but it'll definitely support risk assets. Let me see what else we can look at. Where is the Bitcoin dominance? Let me see if I can find that. Bitcoin Dom. Let's see what's going on. So I haven't looked at this in a few days. So on the daily time frame, it went below this. I think I posted something about this on Twitter. Got the bounce, but now it closed a daily candle below the support. So this might be a sign, a first signal that the alts might actually get a decent run potentially. We'll see how the weekly closes. Obviously it kind of looks like that, but with the daily closing below it, we'll see how the weekly closes. If we even get a drop down to this range, it would probably trigger a decent run for a lot of the alts. We'll see what happens. I don't know if the Bitcoin dominance has topped. It's way too early to be predicting that. But I do think it could pull back a little bit to here at least, and then we'll see if it falls below that, if it does happen. But even if that happens, it would be definitely beneficial for alts. Let me see. I'm going to go over to Solana. So Solana, in my last video, I think it was at $35 last video. I said that we'd probably run into resistance at 38, but then eventually go up to 48 or $45 plus. And we actually didn't even get rejected off this $38. We end up going straight up to 48 or 45 above, but ended up going up to 48. So it actually hit the target that I'd been eyeing for a while. I think I posted it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, $48 or 45. and we end up hitting that. Let me see. Chainlink. I think Chainlink's kind of like consolidating in this range. If you look at like, let me see. We keep bouncing back and forth, but if you look at these indicators like the MACD, it's resetting. If you look at the RSI, it's resetting. So while these indicators or oscillators are resetting, Chainlink's been consolidating. So I think we'll end up continuing up. I think there's a lot of demand like in this area, and I think a lot of people want to buy Chainlink at like $10, and I just think there's just too much demand. It could always test down there, but I do think it's more likely that we're going to continue up. If you look historically, a lot of Chainlink's rallies have been unforgiving. Like we broke out of this. This was like a year long. Went straight up from $5 all the way up to $9, pulled back to $7-ish, and then continued up to $19. We never retested this range. And then you look at this one back here, same thing. We went straight up, never retested it. We just broke right out. Let me see. I think Aave actually. I mentioned Aave at $80. I think I drew like a range like this. I said if it gets above this, so it went from like $80 all the way up to above 100. Since it's gotten rejected so far, but we'll see like what happens if it breaks and closes above this. Then I think Aave's in a very dominant view in my opinion. It has like a good potential upside. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, it already went up 25% since like 3 days ago, pulled back. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Here's another one, Cardano. It's been it broke above this resistance. If it could get like above, I'd say 41 cents, I think that'd be like extremely bullish, because you could see there's this was support, and then it turned into resistance, rejected, didn't even get up there. So if it got above 41, I think like Chainlink or Cardano would look very, very good. I think that's all. See what happens. I think overall the market is in an uptrend, and I think a lot of people are like nervous overall that on every pullback that we're gonna like just completely dump, just because a lot of people have like bear market PTSD, and we still think that we're like in a bear market where everything's just gonna collapse like one day again. So a lot of people just need to like change their view of the market. The trend has clearly changed over the past year. So like in a bull market, pullbacks for the most part are for buying. If you see here, I'll just go back for Bitcoin. Like historically, this was like 2017. Pullback, I'm sure everyone got scared. It got bought up. Pullback, everyone got scared. It got bought up. You could just see it all the way up. Same thing happened last time. Pulled back here, got bought up. Pulled back here, got bought up. So like the bigger thing is that like when we do see a pullback, you gotta like change your mind frame to thinking, instead of that it's gonna crash down, it's gonna crash back up. I think a lot of people are gonna be very late, and usually by the time like most people realize this is usually at the top, and then it's too late. So I think it's still like early. I just think like I could tell on Twitter a lot of people are like super bearish on every like downward move. Even if Bitcoin drops like $200, a lot of people get like very spooked very fast and are expecting just like a complete crash. So just everyone's just gotta like change their mindset, and the sooner people do it, it'll be more beneficial for themselves to ride this trend up over the next few months or years or year. We'll see how long it goes. I'll see you guys.